Welcome to my channel, Official History of Coins. In this video, we're delving deep into the vaults of American numismatics to uncover the stories behind 4 extraordinary Liberty-themed quarter dollars. These aren't your everyday pocket change. Let's get started within the specialized realm of modern numismatics. The 1966 WashingtonQuarter occupies a fascinating and somewhat paradoxical niche, commanding intense interest and significant premiums from serious collectors. Unlike classic rarities from the 19th century, its appeal stems from a unique convergence of historical circumstance, deliberate scarcity in specific forms, and the overarching narrative of a nation in transition. This coin, ostensibly a common piece from the mid-1960s, reveals its true elite status only through a deep understanding of its context and condition, with top-tier examples regularly fetching 4-figure sums at auction. The market's fervent pursuit of the finest known specimens underscores its role not merely as pocket change, but as a critical benchmark for specialists of the modern series, where quality is measured in microscopic detail. The historical backdrop of the 1966 quarter is one of profound numismatic upheaval. It was struck during a period of severe coin shortage, driven by the public's hoarding of silver coins as the precious metal content was removed from dimes and quarters in 1965. The Coinage Act of 1965 had already authorized a shift to a copper-nickel clad composition, and by 1966, the United States Mint was wholly dedicated to producing this new sandwich coinage to alleviate the crisis. Notably, 1966 was the second year of a moratorium on mint marks, a practice intended to deter collecting and speculative hoarding by making all coins, regardless of origin, appear identical. This deliberate act of homogenization, ironically, created a unique collectible landscape for the year. The coin itself, bearing the likeness of President Washington designed by John Flanagan, served as everyday currency during the escalating Vietnam War and a period of significant social change, making any pristine survivor a tangible artifact from a turbulent era. What truly distinguishes the 1966 quarter, beyond its metallic composition, is the exceptional quality of its surfaces and strike when found in the highest grades. The obverse features a finely detailed portrait of George Washington, where the hair above the ear and the curls of the nape of the neck must be sharply defined for a coin to compete at the top of the population reports. The reverse depicts the heraldic eagle, with the parallel lines of the shield and the individual feathers on the eagle's breast serving as key focal points for grading. Coins struck early in the year, particularly those from the Philadelphia Mint, can exhibit a remarkable satiny luster and razor-sharp detail, a testament to fresh dyes and careful striking before the high-volume production runs began to wear the equipment. The subtle cartwheel effect on a perfectly preserved specimen, free of any bag marks or hairlines, is a visual signature of its elite status. The paramount factor governing the rarity and value of the 1966 quarter is its condition, specifically within the context of certified populations. With a massive overall mintage exceeding 821 million coins, it is undeniably common in circulated grades. Its rarity is entirely conditional, emerging only in the realm of superb gem mint state, MS67 and above, and flawless proof conditions. For the business strike quarters, the journey from MS66 to MS67 represents a monumental leap in scarcity and price. While thousands may exist in lower mint state grades, only a handful have been judged worthy of the MS67 Plus or MS68 designation by major grading services. Proof examples struck for collectors follow a similar trajectory, where a perfect PR70 deep cameo specimen, with starkly frosted devices against mirror-like fields, is a monumental rarity. This extreme scarcity at the apex of the grading scale fuels intense competition. Current market valuations for this coin are strictly stratified by its certified grade. A business strike example in MS67 might trade in the range of $1,200 to $2,000, representing a solid premium for a high-quality modern coin. However, the financial landscape shifts dramatically for the pinnacle examples. An MS67 Plus or MS-68 specimen, representing the top 1 or 2 percentiles of all survivors, can command prices from $3,500 to over $5,500 in major auction settings, with final hammer prices heavily influenced by the strength of the luster and the absence of distracting contact marks. For proof coins, a PR69 Deep Cameo is a substantial holding valued around $1,800, but a confirmed PR70 can see bids escalate swiftly toward the $6,000 mark, as these represent the absolute pinnacle of perfection for the issue. For collectors aspiring to acquire a premier 1966 quarter, a strategy built on patience and verification is essential. The absolute prerequisite is to seek coins that have been encapsulated and graded by either the professional coin grading service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. These third-party certifications authenticate both the coin's genuineness and its condition, providing a critical shield against altered or artificially enhanced specimens. When evaluating a potential purchase, scrutinize the high-resolution images for the sharpness of Washington's hair details and the completeness of the eagle's feathers. Acquiring such a key coin is best done through established avenues like major numismatic auction houses or dealers with proven expertise in modern series, as they provide market legitimacy and accurate price discovery. Proper storage in a climate-controlled environment, with the coin remaining in its tamper-evident holder, is non-negotiable for preserving its state and value. In summary, the 1966 WashingtonQuarter embodies the principle that true numismatic rarity in the modern era is often defined by quality rather than quantity alone. Its significance is multifaceted. It is a historical relic from the final abandonment of silver in U.S. coinage, a product of a mint policy deliberately designed to discourage collecting, and a canvas upon which the most minute details of preservation dictate worth. For the advanced collector, securing a top population example is not just an acquisition, but a statement of connoisseurship, representing a triumph in the hunt for perfection within a sea of commonality. As the market for elite condition modern coinage continues to mature, this understated yet critically important issue is poised to remain a cornerstone for collections focused on the 20th century, its value sustained by its undeniable scarcity at the peak of the grading scale. Next coin among the vast sea of modern clad coinage, the 1977 WashingtonQuarter presents a compelling study in numismatic nuance, where extraordinary value is found not in a low mintage, but in a relentless pursuit of perfection. For the dedicated specialist, this coin represents one of the great conditional rarities of the late 20th century, a common issue transformed into a trophy piece by the near-impossible standard of flawless preservation. While millions were struck across 3 mints, the number of examples surviving in the highest echelons of mint state condition is astonishingly minute, creating a fiercely competitive market segment. Its appeal lies in this stark dichotomy, a piece of everyday currency from the bicentennial era that, when found in pristine condition, commands prices comparable to historic silver rarities, making it a centerpiece for advanced collections of the modern series. The coin was produced during a period of relative numismatic normalcy, following the celebratory frenzy of the 1976 bicentennial issues. The United States Mint resumed the standard Washington design in 1977, striking coins at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities in both business strike and proof formats. This return to routine, however, belies the coin's context in a nation still processing the cultural shifts of the early 1970s and navigating an uncertain economic landscape marked by inflation. The quarter circulated widely during the presidency of Jimmy Carter, the rise of disco, and the dawn of the personal computer age. No mint marks were used in 1975 to 76, but they returned in 1977, adding a critical layer of variety for collectors. Yet, it is the sheer quality of strike and surface from specific mintages, particularly from Philadelphia, that would later define its elite status, turning a product of mass production into an accidental masterpiece of condition rarity. The design is the familiar John Flanagan portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, But on the finest 1977 quarters, this standard artwork is elevated to extraordinary relief. The key to its premium lies in the sharpness of specific details, the individual strands of hair above Washington's ear and behind the ribbon, the full definition of the eagle's wing feathers, and the complete, uninterrupted lines of the shield on the reverse. Coins struck from fresh, sharply engraved dies exhibit a magnificent, frosty luster that appears almost velvety under light, a characteristic highly prized by top-tier collectors. The copper-nickel-clad composition, often criticized for its mundane appearance in circulation, can display stunning, cartwheel-like reflectivity when preserved in an absolutely unimpaired state, making the visual appeal of a superlative example both subtle and powerful. Rarity for the 1977 quarter is almost exclusively a function of grade and provenance. With a total mintage exceeding 468 million coins from Philadelphia and Denver, it is ubiquitously common in circulated grades and even in lower mint state levels. The scarcity manifests dramatically at the pinnacle of the grading scale, specifically in grades of MS67 and above for business strikes, and PR69 deep cameo/DCM, and PR70 for proofs. For the Philadelphia issue, the population of coins certified in MS67 plus or MS68 is exceptionally low, often numbering in the dozens rather than hundreds. Proofs from San Francisco, while more readily available in perfect grades than their business strike counterparts, still see a steep premium for the deep cameo contrast and the PR70 designation, where virtually no imperfections are visible even under 5x magnification. The market for these condition-sensitive specimens is robust and precise. A business strike 1977, P quarter and MS67 might be acquired for around $1,500, but the leap to MS67 plus can easily double or triple that figure. The true apex examples, graded MS68, have consistently realized prices between $4,200 and $5,800 in recent heritage auctions, with the record prices belonging to coins with exceptional eye appeal and pedigree. For the proof version, a PR69 DCM is a significant coin valued at approximately $2,000, but a flawless PR70 DCM, with its immaculate fields and deeply frosted devices, can reach upwards of $5,500. These values are driven by registry set collectors, those competing to assemble the highest graded complete sets, for whom the 1977 quarter is a notorious stopper coin, a key date that is disproportionately difficult to acquire in gem condition. Navigating the acquisition of such a coin demands expertise and caution. The absolute necessity is to purchase only examples certified by PCGS or NGC, as their population reports provide the only reliable benchmark for true rarity. When examining a potential purchase, one must study high-resolution images for the slightest hint of a bag mark on Washington's cheek or a dulling of luster on the high points of the eagle's wings, as these minute flaws are what separate the high four-figure coin from one worth face value. Building a relationship with a dealer specializing in modern top-pop coins or participating in major numismatic auctions is the most reliable avenue for acquisition. Once obtained, the coin must remain in its sealed, inert plastic holder and be stored in a stable, dry environment to protect the surfaces from any environmental degradation. Ultimately, the 1977 WashingtonQuarter stands as a quintessential example of how modern numismatics rewards the fanatical pursuit of quality. It carries the historical weight of its era not through commemorative design, but through its embodiment of a manufacturing standard that, for a vanishingly small number of coins, achieved near perfection. Its value is almost entirely encapsulated in its state of preservation, a metric judged with microscopic scrutiny. For the sophisticated collector, securing a top-graded example is a milestone, representing a victory in locating a needle in a national haystack of clad coinage. As competition for the finest condition modern coins intensifies, this unassuming issue from the late 1970s is assured a lasting and prestigious place in the market. Its worth cemented by its undeniable scarcity at the absolute peak of the condition spectrum. Second coin in the specialized world of modern numismatics, the 1987 WashingtonQuarter has emerged as a legendary condition rarity. A coin whose monumental mintage figure tells a deceptive story of its true scarcity and extraordinary value. For the elite collector, this issue represents one of the most formidable challenges in assembling a top-tier set of modern quarters. A coin that is paradoxically everywhere and yet almost nowhere in a state worthy of the highest accolades. Its pursuit encapsulates the modern collector's obsession with perfection, transforming an ordinary piece of late 20th century currency into a prize that routinely commands astonishing prices at auction. The fervent demand for pristine examples underscores its status not as a relic of antiquity, but as a testament to the extreme difficulty of preserving a mass-produced coin in a state of flawless mint brilliance. Struck at the Denver Mint during the heart of the Reagan era, the 1987 quarter entered circulation amid a booming economy and a period of relative stability in U.S. coinage. The WashingtonQuarter series had been in continuous production for over 5 decades, and the design was familiar to millions. Yet, the mid to late 1980s are noted by specialists for a particular focus on quantity over aesthetic quality in mass circulating coinage, as the mint's presses operated at high speeds to meet commercial demand. This operational context is critical. While over 655 million quarters were struck at Denver that year alone, the coins were often bagged, shipped, and handled with little regard for the preservation of pristine surfaces. Consequently, a coin that survived without a single bag mark or abrasion from these vast production runs is a minor miracle, a direct artifact from the mint that avoided the ravages of automated sorting and bulk transportation. The coin's design is the workhorse John Flanagan portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, but its significance in gem condition lies in the execution of minute details. On a truly superb example, every hairline in Washington's coiffure, particularly behind the ribbon tying his ponytail and above his ear, will be sharply defined without any softness. The reverse demands equal precision, with the parallel lines of the shield being fully separated and the eagle's breast feathers exhibiting distinct, layered detail. The luster on a premier 1987 quarter is characteristically thick and satiny, often with a slightly grainy, orange peel texture evident in the fields, a signature of the Denver Mint's striking process in that period. This luster must be original, unbroken, and cover the entire surface without any dull spots or distractions, creating a visual depth that separates the exceptional from the merely excellent. The rarity of the 1987 quarter is a classic case of common in circulation, rare in perfection. No known significant die varieties or errors elevate this date. Its scarcity is purely conditional. In grades up to MS66, it remains abundantly available for a modest premium. The market dynamic undergoes a seismic shift at MS67 and becomes almost otherworldly at MS68. PCGS and NGC population reports reveal that while thousands of coins have been graded, only a minuscule fraction, often fewer than 50 pieces across both services, have been deemed worthy of the MS68 designation. Coins grading MS67 Plus are scarcely more plentiful. This extreme bottleneck at the top of the condition census is what fuels intense competition. For a registry set collector aiming to have the finest graded set of modern Washington quarters, the 1987 is one of the most significant and expensive hurdles to clear. Financial valuations for this conditional rarity are as stratified as the grades themselves. A presentable example in MS66 might trade for a modest sum, but an MS67 commands a more serious premium, typically in the range of $1,800 to $2,500. The leap to MS67 Plus sees prices escalate dramatically, often landing between $3,500 and $4,700, as these coins sit on the threshold of the pinnacle. The ultimate examples graded MS68, representing the absolute peak of technical perfection for the issue, have consistently realized prices from $5,200 to over $6,000 in recent competitive auctions. These figures are not speculative, but are grounded in well-documented public sales, where two determined collectors can push a pristine specimen far beyond its estimate. The value is driven almost exclusively by population data and the relentless pursuit of completeness by registry set participants. For the collector aspiring to own this key modern coin, a strategy built on expertise and verification is non-negotiable. Acquisition must begin and end with coins certified by either PCGS or NGC. Raw examples, regardless of appearance, cannot be trusted to hold this level of value. When evaluating a certified coin, one must go beyond the numeric grade and assess the eye appeal. Examine high-resolution images for the evenness of the mint luster and the placement, or ideally, the absence of any minute contact marks. The most desirable specimens will have these tiny imperfections, if they exist at all, relegated to the least conspicuous areas of the design, such as the fields near the rim. Establishing relationships with dealers who specialize in modern top-pop coins or consigning to major auction houses like Heritage or Stax Bowers is the most reliable path to a legitimate acquisition. Proper stewardship of such a valuable modern coin is critical. It should never be removed from its sonically sealed, tamper-evident holder, as this action would immediately invalidate the grade and destroy most of its premium. Storage should be in a cool, dry, and stable environment, with the holder itself placed in a protective inert plastic capsule or within a quality safety deposit box. Insurance for a coin of this caliber is an absolute necessity, with coverage based on recent comparable auction realizations, not an outdated price guide estimate. Collectors should also maintain meticulous records of the purchase, including auction lot numbers and certification numbers, to establish a clear chain of provenance for future resale. Beyond the business strike, the proof version of the 1987 quarter, struck at the San Francisco Mint, presents a different but equally challenging collectible landscape. In proof condition, the benchmark is the perfect PR70 deep cameo grade. While more S-Mint proofs exist in top grades than business strikes, a PR70 DCM specimen demands immaculate, mirror-like fields without a single hairline scratch and devices with deep, uniform frost. Such coins are also highly sought after, with values for the premier examples reaching into the $3,000 to $4,500 range, representing a significant parallel market for specialists who focus on proof sets. In conclusion, the 1987 WashingtonQuarter stands as a monument to a fundamental numismatic truth. Rarity is not defined by mintage alone, but by the relentless forces of time, handling, and circumstance that conspire against preservation. It is a coin that embodies the late 20th century minting process in all its efficient, quality-agnostic glory, making any flawless survivor a statistical anomaly of the highest order. For the advanced collector, it is both a trophy and a test, a piece that demands deep knowledge and significant resources to obtain. Its market position appears secure, underpinned by the finite population of superlative examples and the unending desire of top collectors to own the best. As a cornerstone of the modern WashingtonQuarter series, its story is one of mundane origins transformed by exceptional survival, ensuring its place as a coveted and respected prize for generations to come. For CoinHistory, the 1998 WashingtonQuarter, a coin many might dismiss as mere pocket change from the late 20th century, hold a position of surprising prestige and formidable value within advanced numismatic circles. Its significance lies not in antiquity or low mintage, but in its notorious status as one of the single greatest condition rarities in the entire modern coin series. For specialists dedicated to assembling top-pop registry sets, collections aiming for the highest graded examples of every issue, the 1998 Quarter is a legendary stopper, a coin whose acquisition represents a pinnacle of both perseverance and investment. This unassuming clad piece, born of mass production, has achieved a mythic quality, with flawless specimens trading at auction for sums that rival classic silver rarities, driven by an extreme scarcity that defies its original output of hundreds of millions. Minted at the Philadelphia facility in the final years of the pure WashingtonQuarter series, before the 50-state quarters program commenced in 1999, the 1998 issue arrived during a period of economic boom and technological transition. The coin's historical context is marked by its position as a terminus. It is among the last of a design that had circulated since 1932, making any premium example a de facto end of an era piece. This was also an era of advanced, high-speed minting technology, where coins were struck, bagged, and bulk shipped with remarkable efficiency, but often with little regard for the individual preservation of surfaces. Consequently, a coin escaping this automated processing without a single bag mark or abrasion is a statistical anomaly of the highest order, a perfect artifact from the closing chapter of a numismatic dynasty that spanned most of the 20th century. Aesthetically, the coin employs the classic John Flanagan design, but its genius in gem condition is revealed in the specifics of its strike and surface quality. On a supreme example, the obverse portrait of Washington must exhibit full, sharp detail in every strand of hair, particularly in the notoriously soft area above the ear and the braid. The reverse eagle's shield lines need to be completely separated and distinct. However, the defining characteristic of the premier 1998 P-Quarter is its luster, a vibrant, liquid-like cartwheel sheen that radiates from the center outward with uninterrupted, mesmerizing effect. This luster must be original and unbroken across both obverse and reverse, with a flawless, mark-free surface that appears almost surreal under magnification, distinguishing it from the millions of coins that entered commerce with even minor imperfections. The rarity of the 1998 P in elite condition is both absolute and well documented. With a total mintage of over 896 million coins, it is phenomenally common in any circulated or lower uncirculated grade. The scarcity emerges with dramatic force at the MS-68 level and becomes nearly mythical at MS-69. Population reports from PCGS and NGC tell the definitive story. While thousands of coins have been graded, only a minuscule handful, often cited as fewer than 30 across both services, have ever received the MS-68 Plus or MS-69 grade. This extreme bottleneck is attributed to the combination of high-speed minting, clad planche quality, and the rough, canvas bags used for storage and transport, which were notoriously harsh on a coin surfaces. There are no recognized die varieties or errors that significantly alter this landscape. The coin's rarity is a pure, unadulterated function of pristine survival. The market value for this conditional rarity is stratified with immense precision. An example in MS-67, while still high-grade, commands a relatively modest premium of a few $100s. The financial landscape transforms utterly at MS-68, where prices typically range from $2,800 to $4,200, reflecting the coin's status as a major registry set component. For the ultimate examples graded MS-68 Plus, realized prices at major auctions have consistently fallen between $4,500 and $5,800. The record-shattering public sales, however, are reserved for the few coins graded MS-69. These pinnacle specimens, representing the absolute apex of technical perfection for the issue, have shattered expectations, with public auction results firmly establishing a value corridor from $5,500 to over $6,500, a figure that continues to trend upward as new collectors enter the modern series and compete for the same few coins. For any collector considering pursuit of this coin, the first and most critical rule is to engage only with third-party certified example from PCGS or NGC. The premium for a top-grade 1998 P-Quarter is entirely tied to that numerical grade, and purchasing a raw coin is an unacceptable risk. When evaluating a certified specimen, one must scrutinize high-resolution images for the evenness and vibrancy of the luster, as a dull or spotted appearance can indicate hidden problems. The placement of any minute contact marks is also crucial. The most desirable examples will have such marks, if present at all, confined to the peripheral fields rather than on Washington's portrait or the eagle's breast. Building a relationship with a dealer who specializes in modern condition rarities or consigning in a major national auction is the most reliable method for secure acquisition. Proper stewardship of such a valuable modern coin is paramount to maintaining its worth. It should never, under any circumstances, be removed from its sonically sealed, tamper-evident grading holder. This slab is both its guarantee of authenticity and its protective shield. Storage should involve placing the slab itself in a climate-controlled environment, ideally within an inert plastic sleeve and a safety deposit box or high-quality home safe. Insurance based on recent comparable auction prices, not face value or outdated catalog listings, is an absolute necessity. Maintaining detailed records of the purchase, including the certification number and auction lot details, establishes a clear provenance that will be crucial for any future sale. While the business strike is the primary focus, the proof version of the 1998 quarter, struck at the San Francisco Mint, offers a parallel challenge for collectors. Here, the premium is for the perfect pure 70 deep cameo grade, which requires immaculate, hairlines-free mirror fields and intensely frosted devices. These coins, while more available in top grades than their business strike counterparts, still command significant four-figure sums, with PR 70 DCM examples regularly trading between $2,500 and $3,800. This creates a dual market, allowing specialists of both business and proof series to pursue a premier example of this final year date, each with its own distinct grading hurdles and valuation metrics. In the final analysis, the 1998 WashingtonQuarter stands as a numismatic paradox of the highest order, a coin of immense commonality that achieves immense rarity through the unforgiving lens of perfection. It is a tangible relic from the end of a classic series, a symbol of late 20th century minting prowess and its inherent indifference to the collector's desire for flawless surfaces. Securing a top-graded example is a career milestone for a modern series specialist, representing a triumph of selectivity and patience in a field dominated by mass production. Its market is sustained by a fundamental scarcity that cannot be alleviated, anchored by population data that guarantees its status as a perennial prize. As the foundational series for the modern quarter, its legacy is secure, ensuring that this humble-clad coin will continue to be celebrated and sought after as one of the most challenging and rewarding condition rarities of the modern era.